Hello, welcome to Paramusic TV. I'm Johnny Long. I'm very excited to bring you this next investigation, one of the first ones officially under the Paramusic TV banner. It's the VFW building in Canton, North Carolina. The Mile High Band has played there many times. What kind of led to this investigation was I had my own experience there. It wasn't dramatic, but it was enough. But one night we were playing there and I was standing outside. I was alone. I felt somebody walk behind me. I felt the air shift. I heard the kind of a couple of shuffling footsteps. And of course I turn around and nothing's there. And upon inquiring about it later, I did find out that there was quite a bit of paranormal activity.
Follow the signs to the end of the road. Don't let the rain make you lose control. And don't be afraid when it's time to go. Just follow your signs to the end of your road.
We're at the VFW in Canton, North Carolina, not too far from where I live. And this is Holly Cope. She was telling us where a lot of the activity happens most of the time. And go ahead and tell us the story.
Okay. Well, a few things that are pretty common. There used to be a bell that hung on the front door that rang every time someone would open it. And well after the bell came down and we didn't have it anymore, I'd be working the bar or and everybody would hear it, but the bell would ring and we'd all look at the door to see who came in and didn't realize the bell's not even there anymore. I've been in here by myself before and just heard the door open. And almost, like you hear the wind and feel the suction into the room when you open a door. That would happen. I'd turn around and there'd be no one coming through the door.
Right.
I looked up from behind the bar and that cord was swinging back and forth like someone was just sitting there twirling it, swinging it.
Right.
And I walked over and looked. There was no breeze. There was nothing that it could have caused it to move. Nothing running around that could have bumped it. And then once I got close to it, it just stopped dead still. It didn't even slow down to a stop. It just stopped.
Got a hit right there. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Got a hit right there. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Got a hit right there. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Can you do that again, please? Of course, I didn't hear that voice after the K2 hit, so at that point all I had really to go on was the K2 hit. But it was the only thing. When I did the sweep of the rest of the room, the highest electromagnetic field I found was at the freezer in the back room, and it was fairly high reading. Didn't think much of it at that point other than that it was, something interesting, but as the night progressed, I think that may have figured into some things. I had already set most of the equipment up over by that front door where a lot of the activity came from that she had experienced. But by this point in time, we had been there at least an hour. So being that not much was happening, we were considering leaving. That's when things started to pick up. Or you can make that K2 meter go off again. That would be just as good.
Well, you might be scared, but I've never known a veteran to be scared.
Now what was that?
That was my car.
But there's no reason that should have happened.
Not to,
Her horn just went off, but there's no reason that should have happened.
A big change.
That was interesting, and thank you for that. But if you do something in here, I mean, we'd appreciate it. Oh, there's the K2 meter. If you were a veteran, could you make that go off? Did you serve? If so, thank you. Show us you here if you have something to say. Very good. I'm going to name a war. Thank you. And tell me if you served in it by making that go off just like you did. Did you serve in World War II? My father served in Korea. Did you serve in Korea? Is that the ice machine? All right.
That was that, yeah.
Now that sound I recognize. Now we decided to use the spirit box with what we call the Estes method, where somebody puts on headphones and usually blindfolded or eyes closed, and the responses are not only easier to hear, but the person that's got the headphones on can't really hear you, and so the responses that they're getting, if they can't hear the question but yet their responses are valid, then you're probably, talking to a spirit. Also, my memory card had ran out on the camera, so really all we have now is just the digital recorder and the spirit box. Everything you're about to hear, other than where I repeat the audio, is in real time. Can you talk to Brian? He should be able to hear you. And just say what you hear. Will you talk to Brian?
It said no. Whatever you said, it said no to it.
Please?
Can't do it. Whoa.
Why?
Whoa.
What is it?
You gotta hear that. Somebody else needs to hear that besides me.
I don't know if I want
You
to.
hear that?
What made it whoa? Your other responses were valid.
It was like, F you, no.
Why? Why do you have to be that way?
I don't know what it said, but his voice sounded mean.
It did sound mean, didn't it?
Please don't. We just want to talk. There was a noise back there. Can't you see my heart? Don't you know I mean well? We mean well.
I can't make out what it's saying, but every time you say something about your heart, it says something.
What problem do you have? What problem do you have? What problem do you have?
Fright.
You don't need to be afraid.
I'm not.
Well, that's good.
Too late, he said.
Too late for what? To talk?
It's going every time you say something after that.
That's not what I want from you.
You're right, it said. It was a different voice at that time. It was a totally different voice.
Who else is in here? Can you please tell us your name? I heard shuffling back there. Is that you?
It's too late.
For what?
Freezer.
Well, I think I heard something back there.
Freezer.
Well, I think I heard something back there.
Freezer.
Well, I think I heard something back there. Are you by the freezer? Is that what you're telling us? I swear I heard a voice back there.
Me too.
So did you,
I don't have to. I heard somebody talking.
Yep, we heard it.
did you hear it outside there?
We both heard it. That's why I looked at you. I was like,
Yeah,
waiting to see if you heard it too.
there was a shuffle and then a voice, but I couldn't understand it.
It said something like, I can't help it, or I can't help you, or something like that.
We'd rather help you.
That was loud. It's just like a noise. It was real loud.
Did you hear that?
No, I was.
There was some kind of, I don't know, like a dragging noise. It was like,
Well, about the time you said that, it made a noise loud enough for me to hear.
on that? Yeah. Would you please tell us your name? How many are in here?
That was like 60s, 50s or 60s music.
Oh, really? Is that the kind of music you like? Have you heard us play here before? The Mile High Band? Me? Karaoke? Even? Us? I heard something back there again. A voice. It just came alive, didn't it?
You hear that music?
What was that?
Did y'all hear that?
I could hear something, but I couldn't tell what it was.
The lights flickered.
These lights?
Yep.
No, it's not doing nothing. When I try to get you to hear it.
Who was your favorite band?
Then again, something up in the head. You hear it? Did you hear that? No?
I don't know.
Let's see what you hear.
I'm hearing enough out here.
Yeah, it's picked up all of a sudden.
It's like when you, on an old radio, when you turn the dial,
Exactly.
and
And
you catch a glimpse of music or a glimpse of something, and then it switch on to the next thing. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, it's like,
It's like old music. It's like weird.
Yeah, it's not
like
anything.
phone.
but it's above everything, because if it's like one song over channels, it's got to be,
It keeps being the same thing.
yeah. So that can't be,
Because it's scanning through, what, 400 channels?
yeah, and it's like several milliseconds, you know, it's,
It sounds like some old creepy.
If you got something that carries over those channels, that's paranormal because it shouldn't be able to do that. You just be hearing.
Yes, it can. It said. Just saying.
That's okay. That's what we want.
Don't worry about it.
What was that?
Forget it.
Forget what?
That's loud.
That's a pretty incredible experiment, isn't it? Well, we sure thank you for that. And I won't forget about it. It'll be with me the rest of my life. But that's good.
Stop trying, it said. That's the longest syllables I've heard them locked together, you know.
I can't help it. I'm sorry, but I mean nothing personal. It's great to make this connection.